Good morning and welcome to Live Without Limits, Unlock Your Power, Ultimate Blueprint to Transform and Shift Your Mindset, the podcast where we explore the key elements that can transform your relationships and enhance your daily life. I'm Davida Shinsky, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. Today, the title of today's show is Empathy in Action, Transforming Your Relationships. And for those of you who are new to the show, Empathy in Action is all about diving deep into the qualities that make our connections with others meaningful and impactful. We aim to provide insights, tips, and real life examples to help you build stronger, more empathetic relationships, whether they're personal or professional. So, in today's episode, we're focusing on one of the most powerful tools to building and maintaining relationships: empathy. We'll discuss what empathy really means, how it differs from sympathy, and why it's essential for fostering genuine connections. We'll also explore practical ways to develop and enhance your empathy skills and share stories that illustrate the profound impact empathy can have on our lives. An explanation of empathy is its components: cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, and compassionate empathy, distinguishing empathy from related concepts like sympathy and compassion. Importance of empathy is fostering deep connections and understanding. Empathy allows us to understand and share the feelings of others, creating a foundation of trust. When people feel heard and understood, they are more likely to open up and be vulnerable depending on the relationship. Empathetic listening involves fully engaging with the speaker. And this is where motivational speakers can really get into your heads and say things that you truly associate with, which improves communication and reduces misunderstanding. It helps us respond more thoughtfully and appropriately to others' needs and emotions. Empathy fosters a sense of closeness and connection as we show genuine care and concern for others. Shared emotional experiences facilitated by empathy can lead a stronger, more resilient relationships. By understanding the perspectives and feelings of others, empathy can help us de-escalate conflicts and promote competitive problem solving. It encourages finding common ground and developing mutually beneficial solutions. Now, here's the difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy involves putting yourself in someone else's shoes and experiencing their feelings as if they were your own. It requires an emotional connection and a deep understanding of the other person's situation and emotions. When a friend is going through a tough time, empathy means you feel their pain and offer genuine support and comfort. Sympathy, on the other hand, involves acknowledging another person's feelings, expressing care and concern without necessarily sharing those feelings. It is more about recognizing and validating someone else's emotions from a distance. When you hear about someone's loss, sympathy means you express your condolences and offer kind words, but you don't necessarily feel their grief. Empathy is about experiencing and understanding another's emotions, while sympathy is about acknowledging and feeling compassion for them. Empathy fosters deeper concerns and connections through shared emotional experiences, whereas sympathy provides support from a more detached perspective. Both empathy and sympathy are important to relationships, but empathy tends to lead to stronger, more intimate bonds. Empathy in a personal relationship, understanding and support. Empathy enables us to understand the emotions and needs of our loved ones. This understanding helps us provide more meaningful support and care. If a family member is stressed about work, showing empathy involves actively listening, acknowledging their feelings, and offering encouragement or practical help, and sharing in emotional experiences of family and friends strengthens the emotional connection and intimacy in the relationship. Celebrating a friend's achievement with genuine joy and excitement deepens the bond as they feel truly understood and appreciated. When people feel understood and valued, they are more likely to trust you and feel safe sharing their vulnerabilities. A child who feels heard and understood by their parents is more likely to confide in them and seek their guidance during difficult times. Empathy fosters mutual respect as it shows that we value the feelings and perspectives of our loved ones. Respecting a friend's need for space after a breakup shows empathy and strengthens the bond through understanding and respect. Empathy involves actively listening and to understand the person's perspective, which can de escalate conflicts and promote resolution. During an argument with a partner, actively listening to their concerns without interrupting shows empathy and opens the door for constructive dialogue. Trying to see the situation from the other person's viewpoint helps to understand their emotions and motivations, making it easier to find common ground. Understanding why a sibling is upset about a family decision helps you address their concerns more effectively and find compromise. Acknowledging and validating the other person's feelings, even if you don't agree with them, can reduce tension and build empathy. In a workplace disagreement, acknowledging a colleague Frustration and validating their feelings can help to calm the situation and facilitate a resolution. Empathy encourages collaborative problem solving as it focuses on understanding and addressing everyone's needs and concerns in a family conflict about household chores. Empathizing with each member's perspective allows for a discussion that leads to a fair and agreeable solution for everyone involved. Now, how to express empathy in a professional setting because when you work with someone in the corporate world, even if you're a small business interacting with other business people, you still need to show empathy. So, empathy creates an environment where team members feel safe to express their thoughts and ideas without fear of judgment. Remember, even if you're a small business, you are collaborating with someone else in anything you do, even if you're outsourcing or hiring someone as an independent contractor to work for you. So, a team leader who practices empathetic listening encourages team members to share their innovative ideas, leading to more creative solutions. Understanding and valuing each team member's perspective fosters trust and respect, which are essential for effective collaboration. A project manager who takes the time to understand the individual strengths and challenges of team members can assign tasks more effectively, leading to better teamwork. Empathy helps in resolving conflicts by addressing the underlying emotions and concerns of team members in a team disagreement about project priorities. An empathetic approach involves understanding each member's viewpoint and finding a solution that considers everyone's concerns. Empathy promotes inclusivity by recognizing and validating. Wow, talk about disturbances. This is real interesting, but it happens. A leader who empathizes with the unique challenges faced by remote workers ensures that they feel included and supported, enhancing overall team cohesion. Leadership and empathetic management. Empathetic leaders connect with their employees on a personal level, understanding their motivations, challenges, and aspirations. A manager who regularly checks in with employees about their workload and well being creates a supportive work environment. Empathy leads to higher employee satisfaction and retention as employees feel valued and understood. Leaders who show empathy during challenging times, such as offering flexible work and arrangements during personal crises, foster loyalty and commitment. Empathy or empathetic leaders consider the impact of their decisions on employees, leading to more thankful and inclusive decision making. Before implementing a major organizational change, A leader gathers feedback from employees who understand their concerns and address them proactively. Empathy contributes to a positive work culture where employees feel supported, leading to increased morale and productivity. A leader who celebrates team successes and acknowledges individual contributions fosters a sense of belonging and motivation. Now, we're going to talk about active listening and its definition. Active listening involves fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and remembering what is being said. It requires the listener to give their full attention, refrain from interrupting, and show genuine interest in the speaker's message. Focus on completely on the speaker. Avoid distractions and acknowledge the message, maintaining eye contact, nodding, and using body language that shows attentiveness. If you've ever watched a speaker, and you will see how they use their hands, use their voice, use the tone of voice. This is all part of the training that you get. And it really teaches you how to get eye contact. Because I can tell you many, many years ago, and this had to do with the kind of relationships I had in the family, because it was a very negative home. And you will find that if you're constantly being belittled or abused, then you learn not to have eye contact with someone when you're talking to them or you're listening to them. So you really have to learn at times how to look at someone and look at them in the face to gain eye contact. And I can remember when I was taking training in being a seminar leader, and one of the things you had to do was make eye contact with someone, and when they felt that you had made eye contact with them, they would raise their hands. So it's a good exercise to learn, because maintaining eye contact, nodding, and using body language that shows attentiveness, and that's the way you stand and look at someone. Focus completely on the speaker, avoid distractions, and acknowledge the message. Maintaining eye contact, nodding, and using body language that shows attentiveness. Reflect back on what you have heard to ensure understanding, and ask clarifying questions if needed. What I'm hearing is that you're feeling overwhelmed by the project deadlines. And is this correct? Now, you will notice that a coach or a therapist, they will often, when you say things to them, repeat it so that you know whether or not they heard you right. Not only did they hear you right, but they understand exactly what it is that you're telling them. So provide feedback that shows understanding and empathy. I can see why you're feeling stressed. Let's find a way to manage the workload better. By actively listening, we can better understand the speaker's emotions and perspectives, leading to more empathetic responses. Active listening fosters a sense of trust and connection as the speaker feels valued and heard. Through active listening, we can provide more relevant and supportive responses that address the speaker's emotional needs. Regularly reflect on your own emotions and how they influence your thoughts and behaviors. Keeping a journal to document your emotional responses to daily events and analyze patterns. One of the things that we don't realize is the importance of keeping a journal because it tells us and gives us a feel of knowing where we're at mentally and emotionally at any given moment in our lives and why we react to different situations in certain ways due on past experiences. Engage in mindful practices such as meditation and deep breathing to enhance emotional wellness and regulation. Practicing mindfulness meditation for 10 minutes a day to stay present and attuned to your emotions. Engage in exercises that promote empathy, such as engaging yourself in someone else's situation or perspective, taking activities, reflecting on how a friend might feel in a challenging situation, and considering what you would need if you were in their shoes. Ask for feedback from others about how they perceive your empathy and emotional awareness. Requesting feedback from a trusted friend or colleague about how well you understand the response to their emotions. Observe and analyze the emotional expressions and body language of others to enhance your understanding of nonverbal cues. Noticing a colleague's body language during a meeting to gauge their comfort level and emotional state. Learn to practice techniques to manage your own emotions effectively, such as cognitive reappraisal and stress reduction, using cognitive reappraisal to reframe a negative situation in a more positive light, reducing emotional distress. Now, let's dive into some real life examples that showcase the transformative power of empathy. One story that stands out is about a school teacher who noticed a student struggling both academically and socially. Instead of reprimanding the student, she took the time to understand his background and discovered he was dealing with significant challenges at home. By showing empathy and providing the support he needed, she not only improved his academic performance, but also boosted his confidence and well being. Now, this is when you have a teacher who's really there and really cares about her students, because you have teachers that are there that are literally there only for the income, and they don't take the time to really understand where a child is coming from or what's going on and why they react the way they do and how outside sources affect how well they do in school. Another inspiring example is from a workplace setting where a manager noticed an employee's sudden decline in productivity. Rather than assuming laziness or incompetence, the manager approached the employee with empathy and discovered he was going through a personal crisis. By offering support and flexible work arrangements, the manager helped the employee regain stability and ultimately improve his performance. So let's look at how Empathy can transform our lives. Empathy has the power to transform lives in profound ways. For instance, there are countless stories of how empathetic leaders have created more inclusive and supportive work environment, leading to higher employee satisfaction and retention. In personal relationships, empathy has the key to healing rifts and building stronger connections. Many families have resolved long-standing conflicts through empathetic communication and understanding, leading to renewed harmony and closeness. And in this situation, when for a family to want to improve communication and resolve long-standing conflicts, it has to be everyone in the family willing to sit down. Because if you're the one that changes, but the people that around you don't change, what happens is they're going to try to pull you back into being exactly how they expect you to be. So sometimes if you find you're in a situation where you have a family that's not empathetic or doesn't care, then what's going to happen? You're going to feel isolated if you allow yourself to remain in that situation. And I found in my situation that I did not have an empathetic family. And my friends cared more and were willing to listen. And that's what helped me. So understanding that, realizing exactly where you're coming from and exactly how to react and find ways. And remember, this is why it's important to understand empathy. Because if you come from a family that's not empathetic, sometimes you literally have to disassociate with them just to have a healthy relationship with yourself. On a broader scale, communities that foster empathy often see greater cooperation and social cohesion. Empathy driven initiatives such as community support programs and inclusive policies have led to more resilient and united societies. So now, let's talk about what we covered today. We explored the transformative power of empathy in building and strengthening relationships. We discussed how empathy shapes human connections, the difference between empathy and sympathy, a practical way to develop empathy skills. We also addressed the challenges of practicing empathy, including dealing with empathy fatigue and balancing empathy with self care. We shared inspiring life examples of how empathy has positively impacted our lives. So, as we wrap up, I encourage you to practice empathy daily. Start by actively listening to those around you and seek to understand their perspective and show genuine care and compassion. Remember, empathy is a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time by making it a part of your daily interactions. You can create a deeper, more meaningful connection with others. So, in our next episode, we'll delve into the topic of building resilience and how it can help you navigate life's challenges with strength and grace. We'll discuss practical strategies to cultivate resilience and share inspiring stories of individuals who have overcome adversity. So Thank you for tuning in to Empathy in Action. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit from your insights. So until next time, I look forward to seeing you then, and I hope you have a great week.